Okay, hello everybody and very welcome to this yoga flow, this vinyasa flow. We're going to be flowing for about 15 minutes together and we're focusing on our core and our stability, not just doing crunches and all those kind of typical core exercises, but we're really focusing on the whole of the trunk of our body today and looking to bring in a bit of our balancing practice as well. So let's get started on the mat. Make sure you're nice and comfortable. You might want some blocks or some books. So if you do have any kind of chunky books, Harry Potter is always a good one, or some cat food boxes are always good. Have them ready just in case you need them for a little bit of extra length for your arms. They can be really helpful. But we are going to be starting in our child's pose. So come to the back of your mat, big toes come to touch, knees nice and wide as wide as feels comfortable for your hips. And then we're going to start to walk our hands out in front of us, really stretching out as we do this. And before we melt our whole body down, we're going to really plant our hands down onto the mat and spread our fingertips out and down. Then send those palms down into the mat so you can send your hips back towards your heels. From here, we take a nice big inhale breath. And then exhale, we let it all go and allow our forearms to melt down to the mat. So maybe you have a block underneath your forehead, or perhaps your forehead comes to meet the mat. Either way, we want to be soft here in this pose. And we're going to stay here for another 3 breaths. And each exhale breath, just see if you can soften down in towards your hips a little bit more. So consciously take your attention to your hips. And then as you exhale, see if you can just let go of any tension held there. And it might feel nice to have a little wiggle into the hips, just to start to release out, maybe a little rock into the shoulders as well. And then on our next inhale breath, we're going to come back to that feeling of planting our hands down onto the mat and start to roll our spine up to a tabletop position. So we're pressing out through the back of the body, really arching through. Nice. And then we come to find our tabletop position. Draw your knees underneath your hips. And we'll move through a couple of cat-cows. Inhale, we drop our belly, our gaze comes up, and you're drawing your shoulder blades together. As you exhale, we arch through the back. We find our cat, tuck the tailbone under, gaze comes to the back. Inhale, we look up. And then exhale, we roll through. One more like this. Inhale to look up. And then exhale, we roll through. Nice. Coming back to a flat back, coming back to our central point. We're going to find some little circles into the wrists. So just start to roll the body forwards and round, just warming up into the wrists. As we do this, we can start to take our attention to our core. So with any of our movements in our yoga practice, we want our core to be engaged, and that's going to help build that stability. So imagine you're drawing your belly button kind of in towards the back of your spine. You're drawing it in, and you can feel that tension starting to engage through the middle of our body. We'll take those circles into the other direction. Just making sure our wrists are getting a little bit warmer before we move through our practice. Nice, and then coming back again to find stillness, back in our tabletop position. We'll walk our hands out about a hand distance in front of us and then melt your chest down, coming to find your puppy pose. So our bottom stays up in the air, our hips are stacked over our knees and we're melting our chest down. So finding a good stretch across the shoulders. Breathe here, trying to release the space across the shoulders. Maybe it's your chin that comes down to the mat, perhaps it's your forehead, see what feels comfortable. And then on our next inhale breath, we're going to roll ourselves forwards, coming on to find our Sphinx pose. So we're staying on our forearms, are dropping our hips, and then our chest comes nice and proud. Now here, our elbows are stacked underneath our shoulders, and imagine you're trying to draw your elbows in towards the body. So you're like pulling the mat away. That'll help to engage through the shoulders and through the core, and we're really pressing up. So take a nice big inhale breath here as we look up. As we exhale, you're going to take your gaze towards your belly button. Your hips will lift, your core engages here. Inhale, we look up. Exhale, we look towards our belly button. Press those elbows down. And again, inhale, we look up. Exhale as we take the gaze to the belly. Let's have 2 more. Inhale to look up. Exhale to belly button. 1 more. Inhale to look up. Exhale, gaze to the belly button. Now keep this engagement. We're going to tuck our toes under, lift our hips to our forearm plank. Really nice and strong. Press the heels away from the body and keep pressing down through the elbows. Really strong here. From here, start to walk your feet towards your elbows. So your bottom lifts. We find our dolphin pose. And then a strong pose here, pressing down through your hands, either pressing both together or one then the other. We find our downward facing dog. First one, so have a good pedal out through the feet. Make sure you're nice and comfortable here. Hands are spread out onto the mat. And you're imagining you're wrapping your elbows around underneath a giant beach ball between the arms. So you're scooping underneath so we can open out across the shoulders. Nice, keep that spine nice and long. And then from here, coming to find some stillness, we walk our hands back to our feet. As many little steps as you can fit in, so we're really pressing down through the hands. Coming to the back of our mat, we find a forward fold. Nice. Try and let your head and neck feel heavy and long. Have a little shake side to side. Then on an inhale breath, we find our flat back. So stroke the front of your legs up the shins and draw those shoulder blades together. Imagine you're trying to create a really flat shape that someone can eat their dinner off of. So engaging through the core to hold here. We have those shoulder blades drawn in and it's nice and flat, sticking the bottom out. Exhale, we forward fold. We find our flat back again. Maybe as you were is just fine. Or perhaps that to extend your arms out in front of you, a little bit more into the back of the body. Exhale, forward fold. 2 of those. So inhale, we draw forwards. Exhale, we fold down. 1 more. Inhale, we draw up. Exhale, as we fold down, plant those hands back down onto the mat. Walk the hands out to find your high plank. Good. Tuck the tailbone under, nice and strong here in your high plank. We're going to lower our knees down, or you can come fully down to your belly. Elbows are going backwards. We lower the body down onto the mat. Untuck the toes, take the hands nice and wide. Inhale, we roll up to find our low cobra. Exhale, we press down. Inhale, we roll up, low cobra. Exhale as we float down. Now this time, hands are going to hover up off the mat. Inhale, we float up. Hover those hands, give them a little twinkle, squeeze the back of the body together. And then exhale, release it down. Tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale breath here. And an exhale breath out. Nice, another one of those. Inhale. And exhale. This time as we inhale, come up to the tops of your toes and start to ripple the body forwards to your high plank. As you exhale, you're going to bend the knees and just hover for a moment in this tabletop and then send it back. We do that again. Inhale, we ripple forwards. Nice spinal roll. Exhale to hover and then send it back. 1 more of those. Inhale as we ripple forwards. Exhale as we start to send it back. Hover. Nice. And then back to our downward facing dog. So then in our downward facing dog, walk your feet together and then start to take your right leg up to the ceiling. We find our 3-legged dog. Draw your right heel in towards your left bum cheek and open up through this right hip. We're keeping both hands evenly pressed down onto the mat. So we keep that nice long spine and opening up that right hip. Good. So take 1 more breath here. And then as you exhale, roll forwards, tap your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale to a 3-legged dog. Straight leg this time. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Have a little tap. Inhale, 3-legged dog. This time, knee to nose and hold there. Crunch it up higher. Higher again. Higher again. And then try and step that right foot through the hands. Drop the back knee down. We come to find our low lunge. Inhale to swoop the hands up to the ceiling. Exhale, cactus the arms and send those hips forwards. Nice big stretch into the hip flexors. Nice. Take an inhale here. Reach those hands back up. And then exhale, find your half splits. Hands come down to the mat, or maybe this is where the blocks or boxes or whatever you've got comes in handy to have a bit of extra length to the arms here. Looking to keep a relatively flat back so that we can really draw into the hamstrings. Inhale, we're going to draw forwards, float the arms up. And then as you exhale, we send it back. Option for hands to come down to the mat, or they float back behind you. We're finding a bit of balance here now. Draw those shoulder blades together. Imagine you've got a football you're holding back behind you. Squeeze it all in. Inhale, take that football forwards, up to the ceiling. Exhale to take it back. Nice, let's have 2 of those. Inhale. Exhale, we take it back. 1 more round. Inhale to draw forwards. Exhale to take it back. Nice. Inhale, we draw forwards, come back to our low lunge. Tuck the back toes under, and we press up to find our high lunge now. So really strong into this right leg. And we're looking for a nice long stance. So if you've shuffled your way in a little bit like this, and you're a bit higher, that's going to be easier on the legs. So if we can, we step back a little bit more so we can come nice and low into that lunge. Take the hands up. Nice. Have a little wiggle through the right toes. And then take a breath in as we reach up. Exhale, we cactus open the arms. Inhale, we're going to reach forwards into our arrow pose. And then rise our way back up. 2 of those. Exhale to cactus. Inhale to reach forwards. And rise up. 1 more. Exhale, we cactus. Inhale, we reach forwards. And rise up. Right, this time, exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach forwards and keep that space, keep that shape. Press into the right foot. We're going to come to find our warrior 3. So we're pressing into the right foot, we're kicking the back leg up, and we find our nice balance here. Hands can come into heart center. Close this left hip down. Good, holding strong here. 3 more breaths. Imagine you're pressing your left foot to the back of the room, and to an imaginary wall, and see if you can squeeze the left heel up that wall a little bit more. Okay, on an inhale breath, we're going to start to bring this left knee in through to our chest, so we come to standing at the top of the mat. As we exhale, we're sending it back to our warrior 3. Bit of balance. Find somewhere to focus the gaze, stay with the breath. We do it again. Inhale, we come through. Exhale, we send it back. Really nice. We're going to do 1 more of those. Inhale to come through. Exhale as we send it back. Oh, bit of a wobble. Nice. From here, with as much control as you can. So squeeze everything in. And I want a silent tap of the foot. We lower back to our high lunge. Take a big step. Inhale, reach the hands up to the ceiling. Exhale, release left hand to the mat. Easy twist. Right hand lifts up to the ceiling. Now from here comes our control again. Plant the left hand down, and as steady as we can, we step to find our side plank. So our right foot comes to the back of the mat, and we send our hips up. Option is always there to drop this bottom knee down, find the extension. We take both feet together, or we can start to lift this right leg with a bit more balance and stability. Maybe find a tree shape. Let's have 1 more breath together. Inhale. As we exhale, we release to a high plank. Hold nice and strong here. Lower down onto our bellies. Knees as an option, or fall lower. Calming down. Good. As we arrive here, hands come back behind us. Finding our locust pose. Inhale, we squeeze it all up. Exhale as we lower down. And again, inhale to squeeze up. Exhale as we lower. Good, 1 more. Inhale, squeeze up, holding this time. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release it down. Hands come alongside the rib cage, tuck the toes. Pressing up to find our high plank. Obviously knees are there. We rise our way up, and then we send it back. Downward facing dog. Good, have a few pedals out of the feet. And then we take that over to the other side. So walk the feet together. Left leg up to the ceiling, 3-legged dog. Draw the left heel in towards the right bum cheek. Open out the hips. Nice big stretch into the hip flexors. Good. Keep pressing evenly through both hands. Send the chest back. Take an inhale breath. Start to close the hip. Exhale, knee taps left elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, and we hold. We tuck up higher, higher again, and then step that left foot through the hands, drop the back knee down. Inhale, we swoop our hands up. Low lunge, send the hips forwards. And then exhale, press back, half splits. Good. Option, sorry. Hands can come down to the mat or those blocks. Just feeling into the back of the leg to start. Then inhale, we find our low lunge. Draw up. Exhale, we send it back. Half splits, hands now float back behind us. Catch that imaginary ball behind you. Remember, we're always staying tight through the core. Inhale, we draw forwards. Exhale, we take it back. Good, 2 more of these. Inhale to draw forwards, float that ball up to the ceiling. Exhale, take it back. Really nice, 1 more. Inhale, forwards. Exhale to take it back. Good, inhale, we draw forwards, find your low lunge. Tuck the back toes under, lift up to find your high lunge. So again, nice long stance. We'll be stronger into this front leg. See if we can get this leg about parallel with the mat. Really strong. And we want to be pressing down through this left foot. So consciously spread out the toes, find all 4 corners of the foot to press down. That will really help with the balance and stability. Exhale, cactus, open the arms. Inhale, we reach forwards and we rise up. Good. Exhale to cactus. Inhale to reach forwards and rise. 1 more, cactus. Inhale, reach and rise. Good, exhale, cactus. Inhale to find your arrow pose. Start pressing into the left foot. Then we're coming to find our warrior 3. Hands can come into heart center. If you do want a bit of an extra challenge, arms can extend out in front of you. But we're squeezing this right glute in, keeping the hips square. See if you can press the right foot to that imaginary wall and slide your heel up a little bit more. Keeping that flat back that we found earlier. So that's the back of our body really engaging. Okay, on an inhale breath, we come up to stand at the top with our knee lifting up. Good. Allow those wobbles into the left ankle. Exhale, send it back. Ooh, warrior 3. Good, we do that again. Inhale to draw it forwards. Exhale as we send it back. Nice. Let's have 1 more round. Inhale, we draw it forwards. Good, keep that gaze somewhere. Stay with your breath. Exhale, send it back with as much control as we can squeeze in. We're going to step that right foot back. Nice big step. Inhale to your high lunge, reach the hands up. Exhale, easy twist, right hand down to the mat. Left hand reaches up. Good. Find the connection with the right hand. So my fingertips are so spread out here, rounding myself down. And we're stepping this left foot back to find your side plank. Now options are there again. We can drop the bottom knee, or maybe we can start to float this left leg up. Whatever option you find, send those hips up. So really engage through the whole of your core. Nice and strong. 1 more breath. Inhale. And then exhale. Let's release to our high plank. Lower down to our bellies. Elbows going back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms coming alongside the body. Inhale, locust pose. Exhale, we release. Inhale to locust. Exhale, we release. 1 more of those. Inhale, locust pose. And then exhale, release. Hands coming alongside the body. We're sending it back to find our child's pose at the back of the mat. Knees nice and wide. Sink the hips down, back to where we started. Take a nice big breath in here. Exhale to melt it down. Good, have a little wiggle through the shoulders. Wiggles through the hips. Good, 1 more breath here in child's pose. And exhale, breath out. And then option to stay here. Or we can walk our hands back towards us. coming to finish our practice. You're very welcome to take a Shavasana if you've got some time to lie down onto your mat. Otherwise, we'll draw our hands together. Take one final big breath all together. Inhale, we sweep our hands up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Take your thumbs to your forehead. Thank you so much for joining this practice with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or a wonderful sleep whenever you are doing this practice. I'll see you again on the mat soon. Thank you.